Good afternoon, everybody. I must thank Dr. Nirmal Fredrock for giving this opportunity. So we are going to discuss a few things about accreditation. So I have no financial interest, please. The public expectations of doctor is changing. Today's patients are better informed, expect better behave and to perform constantly well, are less tolerant of poor practice, ask only for the best quality. The provider of the healthcare services, recipient of the healthcare services, or the organizers of the healthcare services. We have a different concerns. Provider has a different concerns like provider care as per established norms, adequate resources, self-satisfaction with the financial outcome, should contribute to the enhancement of the skill, competence and add to the experience. And the recipient concern, which is the more important, is accessibility, affordability, prompt attentions, less waiting time, early diagnosis and cure, return of the productivity as early as possible, human treatment that's to be treated with empathy, respect and concern. Organizers' concerns, responsible to the society for the funds spent on healthcare, to ensure safety of public and prevent inappropriate or suboptimal care, to meet the requirements of the recipient and provider of the healthcare services at acceptable cost, focus of standards, patient safety, staff and employment safety, environment and community safety, information, education and communication. It's a responsibility of all of us when you are giving a patient care. What's accreditation? Accreditation is an external review of quality with 4 principal components. It's based on written and published standards. Reviews are conducted by professional peers. The accreditation process is administered by an independent body. The aim of the accreditation is to encourage organizational development. NABH standards, which includes 10 chapters, 100 standards, and many objectives. They are patient-oriented, like assessment and continuity of the care. Patient right and education, care of the patient, management of the medication, hospital infection control. In fact, all of them, they are very important, but our concern is always the hospital infection control. And there are certain health care organization management standards, which are continuous quality improvement, responsibility of the management, facility management and safety, human resources management, information management system. They have again many standards and underneath objectives. According to the English Dictionary, accreditation implies official recognition, general acceptance, assurance of quality. Options for assuring quality of hospital care like essentials, quality audits, quality assurance and quality management, quality improvement, quality assessment and accreditation with the different bodies. The different bodies like ISO, NABH, JCI, and they have different parameters. Like governance is not very clear with ISO, it's very clear with NABH and JCI. Cost accreditation is low with the ISO, it's high and comparatively costlier than JCI. Cost implement again varies, is to implement day-to-day relevance, affect outcome, marketing effect, and medical tourism. It's our choice what we want to focus upon. No, as per NABH, public recognition and accreditation is public recognition of the achievement of the accreditation standard by a healthcare organization demonstrated through an independent external assessment of that organization's level of performance in relation to the standards. And those standards are recognition of specific competence, highly specific in scope, technical competence of a hospital towards its activities, specific tasks, process and staff, evaluate people, skill and knowledge, uses trained auditors who are peers and specialized in various clinical disciplines, peer-reviewed standards, achievable and optimal, voluntary and limited period. And this criteria of hospital accreditation standards according to the organizations and governance point of view. Compliance with regulatory and legal requirements, more than 70 regulatories and legal requirements to be complied with. Environment management, providing a safe hospital premises, monitoring not only the hospital, it's the surrounding of the hospital as well, monitoring and evaluating quality of care and services standard, continuous quality improvement, development of a specific quality indicators, waste management, information and knowledge management, and dissemination. Those in operational management criteria: monitoring, prevention and control of infections, control and upkeep of medical and non-medical equipments in all aspects, provide a safe premises, facility and environment to staff, patients and visitors, monitoring of a food and catering services, which we usually do not care, those who we care to the patients for the admissions, evaluation and rating of rating and contract services. It's our responsibilities. Criteria of hospital accreditation standards as per the patient's focused criteria, involving patients and family on decision making on treatment. This is very important. We have to involve patients at all the stages, which includes plan of care. Getting informed consent on specific aspect of the treatment. For specific treatment, for specific surgery, we have specific consents as AIOS has even guided us, so we have to be brief about the consent part. Communication with the patients and families with the providing and timely information. Educating the patients and family of their rights and responsibilities. This should be well displayed out at the outset of the OPD. A criteria for quality of clinical surveillance services, outpatient services, diagnostic images and lab services, sterile supply services, medication, pharmacy services, critical care, intensive care, emergency and high dependency care services, neonatal dialysis, chemotherapy, post-operative, and medical record upkeep and maintenance. And more important is the human resources. In fact, everything is very important. In human resources, we clinician definitely give a less stress to this. Staffing, how we plan, recruitment, verification, and credentials, including that of the doctors. Staff development and training, induction and ongoing training, time to time. Monitoring staff performance in clinical practice, physicians includes. Staff satisfaction and feedback, including exit interview. Basic principles of the accreditation: statutory, regulatory, licensing, compliance must. It's based on structure, process and outcome, focused on patient care and safety. Going to the accreditation, prepare the hospital for journey vision. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you. Ultimately, so that's what our goal is. And the management has to have its mindset for this accreditation. They must aware why they need this accreditation. What's the process involved? What's the cost involved? And what's the need to modify? Top management should believe that having standards management for all patients through accreditation will add value. Aim at improving quality and understanding that accreditation is a byproduct. Offer unconditional support to the quality team and external consultants. Should understand his role, specifically contextual mission, vision, operation and strategic planning. Track of all legal regulatory requirements. Who will drive it? Quality team should not be independent of the single individual. Accreditation coordinator form subgroups involving relevant stakes. In fact, everybody has to be involved into this. They should think they are part of the team. Educate the team. Quality coordinator should medical knowledge, good administrative skill and respect and command. Core group, you need to be formed with a quality coordinator or all HODs. Gap analysis, we must understand, we must recognize statutory requirements, infrastructures, HR, supportive services. Organizational performance panel, which is a guideline, dimensions clinical research, support, patient care would assess to clinical services, quality of clinical services, quality of clinical research support, customer satisfaction would include inpatient and outpatient satisfaction, employee and principal investigator satisfaction. Operational management will include financial management, equity activities, IT support, inventory management. Inventory management about everything. Workforce development, recruitment and retention of the employees and their ongoing training. Implementation. The first is obtain copy of ISO and NABA standards. Let's go through those. Basically, for the clinician, they understand. In fact, they're going to go all those things which they actually they're doing in the day-to-day work. But when you go in between the lines, we find so many places which we usually do not go past. We do not practice that. So that's say a Bible for everybody if we go through those books. And carry out self-assessment on the status of the compliance with the NABA standards. Step 3 is identify gap areas and prepare action plan to those gaps. Step 4 is ensure that NABA standards are implemented and integrated with the hospital functioning. Step 5, obtain copy of application form, complete and submit for assessment. How to begin? Identification of the departments, formation of the committee and delegates, role and responsibility to be distributed, document policies and guidelines, implement policies, monitor for compliance and amendments. There are certain separate departments like the legal, identify all legal requirements, maintain a compliance register with the following: name of the legal document, number, status, one time or a renewable, if renewable, the next date, responsible for renewal of and updating the amendments, conditions if any. Infrastructures would include identify all the infrastructure requirements, segregate them into essentials and desirable, prioritize as per the essential and the availability of the resources, consult experts in the field of required and start work early. Manpower would include identify requirements and have an effective manpower planning before start. Gray areas identified, compliance and reference. Clinician involvement is a must. Educate on the benefits of the accreditations, the clinicians. They are the stubborn quality. Educate on improvement in patient safety that accreditation can provide. Educate on what is minimum involvement of the clinician to ensure the above, because he has to monitor the day-to-day work, the clinical outcome. Other perceived pain are pain, adverse drug event, end of life care. This is basically the multi-specialty hospitals. Air conditionings, medical audits, indicators, training, privileging and credentials. NABH accreditations, identify team, identify and form merge relevant committees, workshops they should be exposed to. Next deadline, identify gaps and prepare their document state. Next meeting, what frequency, training of the various groups. Sensitization of the various professionals, form subgroups and delegates, have the mandatory committee form, identify and implement training requirements, identify and address all infrastructure, statutory and legal compliance, target dates for completing documents and implementation, and of course periodic review. The steps: ensure NABA standards are implemented and integrated into the hospital functioning. Do an internal audit. Call for pre-assessment. Corrective actions. Assessment and then the accreditation. Maintain quality improvement program. Getting assessment is not everything, but we have to maintain that. Would carry the continuity of quality, continuity of the patient care. Or prioritize, give importance to process at every point, ensure that the standard is addressed, make the process simple, have processes that can be followed rather than what's ideal. Identify and address crucial infrastructure and train a plan for the rest. Train for the whole group. Common obstacle usually we come across. Understanding by the top management. Who will drive it? Documentation, legal, infrastructure, manpower, clinician involvement. Other includes certain gray areas like end of life care. Quality, total quality management in the hospital, recognition of a quality by patient satisfaction, employee satisfaction, and management satisfaction. Excellence in patient care would be complaint, waste, and defect reduction, elimination of the rework, documentation, efficiency, process management, regulatory compliance, regulations in the law. We have a documentation pyramid, quality manual. You need to have an apex manual, documented policies, procedures, patient flow, diagram, organogram, work instructions, SOPs where required, records, formats, registers, form, external documents, statutory and regulatory requirements. Ensure that the end user is involved in documentation because only they can practice. A role of accreditation in a healthcare organization. Perception is an onerous process. Add little values. Accreditation is for the sake of accreditation. Difficult and costly, why do it now? realities. It helps organize one's approach to quality, cost effectiveness. It enhances quality, focusing on doing the right steps, right things. In conclusion, quality assurance in ophthalmic service may become mandatory in future. It's a continuous trend, sustainable, integrated into a daily work process. Once you acquire this, then you understand this is an ongoing, it's a simpler way. Surgeons appreciate self-audit for continuous professional development. Providers continuous quality monitoring and so many medical legal aspects. Thank you so much.